I agree with you, by the way. The Fiji Marriott Resort Momi Bay is bringing us the top 5, and we got some top 5 moments to celebrate. First, starting with the big brew, Rick. Jordy bites back in the match against Griffin Colapinto with an 8.67.
Yeah, this was a really cool moment for Jordy in particular. That one turn there, just done with so much force and power, and then gets this big lip gliding floater, one of the gnarliest floaters we've ever seen here done at Cloudbreak. And just a real feel-good moment for everyone, for all the fans, to see Jordy go all the way through today and put in a good performance.
Number 4, it's a Colapinto class. Griffin Colapinto has a pretty good track record here at Cloudbreak. He's had a win and he's had a runner-up finish.
Yeah, you know what was really cool? Caroline said it in one of her post-tape interviews was, we don't get to go left much. And what we saw out here, you know, on the tour was, you know, just a masterclass in backhand surfing on you know, from Griff. It was beautiful to watch. There were shades of, you know, just the way he was squaring up from the bottom, I saw, and the way he was blowing the fins out, you know, reminiscent of sort of Andy and Bruce a little bit. But yeah, I think it was nice to see a left and a sizey left, a big sort of essentially point break, where he was just able to absolutely unleash.
Colapinto continued on through the run after Italo for defeating Jordy Smith.
Yeah, by far the standout backhand surfer of the entire week, really. And certainly today, you know, we had the feeling Griff was going to go all the way through up until he had that meeting in the final draw against Yago, who just took it with a dominant performance. But Griff, some of the best backhand surfing we've seen. Just his read on this wave and the speed and the pace. He's just got such an intimate knowledge of how this wave breaks now, and continues to just play with the lip out here. And in waves this size and this powerful, he makes it look so smooth and easy. And I can tell you, it's not that easy.
Like, it's Caroline Marks, her run from the very first match was inspirational all the way to a world title runner-up.
Oh, it was amazing, right? I think from the practice session, she was looking on. I mean, 3 weeks ago, she wasn't even in the conversation. And then she got the job done in Tahiti. She jumped up into contention, and then she just blistered her way through this, you know, matchup after matchup after matchup. And I mean, you know, she came up against Bettylou. She took her down. She had Katie Simmons, I think, and she took her down. And then she had Gabriella Bryan in that number 2 seed. She took her down. I think for me, when the conditions were nice and clean this morning, she was absolutely, she had the perfect read on this wave, right? Her board was fitting into the, you know, the arc of the wave really well. But then, you know, she obviously came up in the title match. She would have surfed, what, I mean, it was her 6th heat by then. And yeah, she came a little bit undone, but you can't take away what she was able to do today. And really, to get on that roll and just to keep showing up with that same energy, heat after heat, yeah, it's undeniable.
Yeah, it was, you know, she just put up such a good performance all day long, and you have to think that fatigue just started to come into play here. And even, not only body fatigue, but mental fatigue in that, okay, I just haven't adjusted to the changing conditions. Maybe I'm not putting myself on the right wave. Those little things start planting this seed of doubt, and unfortunately, it just happened, you know, right at the final moments of today for Caroline. But geez, she took us on a journey. She took us on a ride. We all thought she was going to go all the way.
She can be proud going from number 4 to number 2 in the world at the end of the year, Caroline Marks. Number 2 in the Celebrate flick, our 2025 world champ, Yago Dora.
Yeah, this was such an incredible moment because, I mean, he literally, the task was 2 waves and you can be a world champion. And he did just that. And he came out of the gates flying. This opening wave, dropped to 7, right, was just, okay, we know where he's at. He's clicked up a couple of gears. He wasn't showing us everything he had in the practice surfs because right here, I mean, he has gone in, I mean, it's just turbo mode. It was insane and just, but turbo, but with style, you know? It was really beautiful to watch. And I think what was really special, you know, obviously he had the whole of his family, you know, he's got EC's girlfriend, EC's sister, you know, his managers, his coaches, everyone, his dad was all there to watch it go down. So, yeah, really beautiful moment there for Yago.
Yeah, it was really cool. He actually did it 5 manoeuvres and a little chandelier barrel. That's all it took today. Got it all done. And the celebrations, well, they will continue well into the night here, certainly in Fiji. And I'm sure Florianopoulos is not going to sleep for a couple of days, maybe.
That is such good stuff. Congratulations to Yago Dora, our men's world champ, our women's world champ. Rick, Molly Picklum had to come back from a deficit after a loss in title match heat number 1, but then it was all Molly going excellent over and over again.
Yeah, totally. Click, I was just about to say, you know, you look at the story of this 3-match final, and it really, it talks to the personality of Molly, and it talks to the grit and determination of where she's sort of, you know, been born and raised, of Central Coast of New South Wales, you know, North Shelley. It's a gritty town where they kind of breed no-nonsense surfers out of there, you know, and Molly is that determined competitor, no nonsense. She tells us how she's feeling, and she's one of these women, you knock her down and she will get up, she will keep fighting, you know. Today felt like a bit of a destiny moment. We knew she was going to get the world title, whether it was this year or another year, but just turned out that this year it was all going to happen for her. Some incredible surfing in the 2 heats, of the 2 second heats in this matchup, you know, the second and third matchup. And yeah, she just found a rhythm and continued on through and just steamrolled over Caroline at this point.
Yeah, for me, as soon as this opening title match happened, I was a bit nervous for her because it looked like there was this real sense of urgency and that she wasn't quite connected to the decisions she was making. You know, she was hunting the tube. But then that little reset, you know, that she had in between this one, the next one, she was able to regain, you know, focus and really turn things around. You know, it speaks to what you were saying, Rich. It speaks to the kind of person she is, that Aussie battler. And, yeah, I mean, moments like this, locking in 2 of the highest waves of the day so far. You know, she had the 8-8-3 and an 8-1. You know, it was beautiful surfing.
Well, you two, I think Australia's going to welcome with open arms another women's world title.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, we'll celebrate world champions, and Australia's right behind Molly Picklum. You know, I talk to a lot of people, obviously, in the game. And this lady here, she's got so many fans. She's got so many people that are behind her. And, you know, both these camps, they've got a whole team behind them. They're not just doing it for themselves. They're doing it for their country, their coaches, their loved ones, their family, their friends. It's easy to get behind and get on board with both of our champions this year.